Hey there, good morning. I guess it's morning my time. This is Eric. I'm with Painting Business Pro, and today I wanted to run you guys through the importance of systems before we actually get into looking at the really detailed systems that we have in my business. So up to this point, we've covered, a few things, about why you should start a painting business, about how to save time if you already run a painting business, or how to save time if you start one. And then we talked about marketing, and then sales, and then production, which I think are the three main aspects of a painting business that you really need to develop systems for in order to really thrive. And so we're going to kind of get into a bunch more details of marketing, sales, and production in the next couple of videos. I'm going to actually show you what our systems look like. I'm going to actually take you behind the curtain here and show you my desktop and show you the forms I use, show you the files, show you the scripts, and so you can start to get an idea of what we mean by systems. So that's coming in the next 3 videos, and since that's coming up in the next 3 videos, I thought it would be important to first establish why systems are so important, so we can kind of look at those systems in the next few videos. So 4 or 5 years ago, I read a book called The E-Myth by Michael Gerber, and The E-Myth is an excellent book. I would recommend reading it because there are some really good principles in that book, I think. But the biggest thing that I took from that book is the idea of creating systems in a business. So, he talks about, it's called the E-Myth and the myth of entrepreneurship and all this, and he points to entrepreneurs who aren't really entrepreneurs. They don't own a business, they own a job. And you see people like this all around who are business owners, but they don't really own their business. Their business kind of owns them. So this could be the person who owns a coffee shop, who does all the accounting themselves. They make the coffee, they take the orders, they do the inventory, they close the shop, they open the shop. They're working 60 or 70 hours a week running a business. And then you look to the far other extreme, which is something like McDonald's, which is what Michael Gerber in the book refers to as a turnkey business. A turnkey business where you literally put the key in and turn, and your business, and it just works because the systems are so well defined. And I don't know if it's that book or where I heard this, but I heard there's 47 steps to making a French fry at McDonald's. So you can imagine the depth of the systems that they have with McDonald's. And so we really talked about how do you take what you may be really good at and turn it into a system where anyone can do it. So essentially, any result you ever produce with, let's take a painting business for example. So when I go and I do an estimate and I sell a job, all that is a series of actions, and those actions could be phone calls I made, things I put together, and words I said to the customer. But regardless, it's actions. Everything is a function of actions. And if you can put all of the actions to create a result, if you can put those into a repeatable process and write it down on a piece of paper, you have yourself a system. So basically, you just want to find out what is the system, the exact process you are going to follow to produce the intended result. And really, once you develop systems, you can hire people to do those things much easier than if you didn't have systems in the first place. So, for example, you could imagine trying to start teaching someone to do sales. If you don't have a good system to teach them the sales, then what are you even going to teach them? So, I think systems are really important. It's how I've been able to delegate my entire business. We just have systems for everything. My production manager is leaving this year. This is his last year working with me, and honestly, he knows more about production in my business than I do at this point. And I'm not worried that I'm losing my production manager because we have such a simple system that I know we're going to be able to teach someone else how to follow the system, because it's really very simple. So that's one reason to create systems is it makes it much easier to hire and train employees. It makes it much easier to delegate tasks to other people so that you can free up your time. But I think the other really big thing is that it makes your business much more scalable and growable, like once you have systems in place to grow your business. So that's kind of the importance I wanted to talk about with systems. We are going to get into the details so you can actually see how these might be really, really powerful, but and just a quick side note is, I have published all of my systems for my business, and you could buy it. You could buy all of my systems for my painting business for about $140. I'll put the link below the video on my website, so you could check that out if you want to just buy all the systems straight away. There's no way I'm going to be able to show you all of my systems in just these videos. So there's about 7 hours of content plus all of the documents in that. So something to check out. But for now, I'm just going to kind of start showing you guys behind the curtain and start giving you a little bit more details about what my systems look like, so you can start to apply the same concepts to your business. Because I promise I do the same thing in my other businesses, and everyone I know that's successful in business creates and builds systems. So we'll get into that in the next couple of videos. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you soon.